Hi, and welcome to COMP3211 Distributed Systems Coursework 2. So this coursework is surrounded by producing three APIs. API 1 and API 2 are custom APIs that have been produced using Python on Flask. And API 3 is supposedly to be a commercial API. API 3 for this coursework was chosen to be the Guardian API, which enables users to query articles based on content, tag, section ID, etc. But for the purposes of this coursework, I've limited it to searching for n terms given by n conjunctions. Now, task 4 was to produce a client that would be able to chain all three APIs, so the input of one goes into the input of another until you get a final production. And this was built using Python Flask, but the heart of it is mainly JavaScript. So as you can see, this is the client running on port 5000. I should mention to the marker when they're running this that I've hard-coded the URLs. This will be in the README file, but what I expect is task 4 to be running on port 5000, task 1 to be running on port 5001, task 2 to be running on 5002, and task 3 to be running, of course, as you guessed, 5003. So back to the task itself, the client. So this is the web interface I produced, which has got some lovely transitioning cards for you to go through, where you can have a read of each one, of each API, and we've got some more information specific to the routes, etc., and what they're doing. And some important notice for the marker is that for API 2, once you have a read of this, you'll understand what I'm saying, is basically that we have the /main route, which is used to control entity relationships only. So if an entity isn't present, then the main index route will reject, and you'll have to go to that individual entity's route and create, read, update, delete them before you can start updating and creating new links, etc. I think once you actually run the interface and go through these cards, you'll understand a bit more. So now, proof of the chaining has been performed here, but before we do, I'd just like to give you a showdown of the current status of each API. So as I mentioned, API 1 is just literally is about CRUD of sports, so football, hockey, etc., creating, reading, updating and deleting them, and this is its current state. API 2 in a similar way takes sports and links them to teams, so a sport can have multiple teams and a team can consist of multiple players, as you can see here, and as you can tell, the output of API 1 would be going into API 2. Finally, API 3 is the Guardian API, and an example GET request is actually present in the chaining that I'm about to run through now. So step 1 is to enter a sport ID. If I entered something wrong, it literally will not let me go forward. And let's go for a valid object. So we know 1 is valid. Now we get back, let me just show API 2. We get the inner join of sport ID 1. So as you can see here, if you pause the video and take time to think of what an inner join between all these three tables would look like, it would look like this. And now that we're in API 2, we need to be able to submit to API 3. Now, as I mentioned, API 3 is based on the Guardian, and for the context of this coursework, I've decided to search the Guardian for a set number of articles based on the conjunction of a team name and a player name. So let's pick England, let's pick me. I've already had a look at this, and I know that the maximum number of articles that the Guardian has with the terms Tanvir and England is 47. So, sorry, 46. So 47 is the upper bound. As you can see, it's not going to let me any other number, similar process, and any stupid number as well. It won't produce anything. But now, let's say we want 3 articles. I can click submit, and from that I can get the title, the URL and the date. And as you can see, this, as I said, because we've got 46 as the upper bound, it's quite flexible in scaling and growing quite well, I would say. Overall, as you can see, the JS works as intended. So 46 is the maximum, as I said, and as you can see, all 46 articles are present. So yeah, that is the end of this coursework. It's been a pleasure, and I hope this video is informative enough for the marker to go ahead. And as I mentioned, just to quickly make sure that you know, port 5000, 5001, 5002, 5003 must be specifically ran, and I will leave more instructions in the readme file, but the command for it is -p, and then you just enter the port number that you'd like it to run on. I assume it's localhost as well, so don't try and run it on the local network. Thank you.